Podcast. I'm your host, Dolph, the sub guy. And today, the testimony continues. Day 3 of the young Dolph murder against the Mastermind. Her name is Dolph. God bless everybody who watching this. God woke you up this morning. Say a prayer and thank you.
Okay, so make sure I have this right. State moves to use the CDRs for, what's TZ's government name? Joshua Taylor. And the other person,
Harry Lockhart.
who's also referred to as Ham. Harry Lockhart?
Harry H-A-R-R-Y.
Is Ham P-R-E? Or,
I don't believe so. I've seen no evidence of that.
so Ham doesn't necessarily have an affiliation here.
Correct.
Okay. I was asking if Ham had an affiliation with P-R-E or CMG. Nobody really knows. Okay, that's fine. them in reverse just because that's kind of how I looked at them. Ms. Taylor, what's the argument again for the court to allow in the CDRs for Harry Lockhart, also known as
You're right. He was referenced in, well, his name was brought up as having communication with one of the co-conspirators in
which one?
Justin Johnson.
His name was brought up in text messages or?
No, his name was brought up in Browning's testimony on yesterday.
Okay, as what? I mean,
as having, this was on July 27th. It was in reference to Justin texting him about talking to Juke, and it's also, I believe, relevant as to the text messages that defense has brought in referencing his name. They indicated that Justin was doing, not Justin, I'm sorry, Joshua Taylor, Harry Lockhart, I'm sorry, all the names are starting to be confusing. Harry Lockhart was talking, or was referenced in some of Justin's text messages in regards to maybe Justin doing the outside thing, outside of the conspiracy.
and you said specifically on July 27th,
Yes, Your Honor.
as we were going through text messages on yesterday?
No, he was brought up in Browning's testimony
Right.
in regards to July 27th.
So what I'm saying is that did we not see text messages yesterday from July 27th?
Just from Justin Johnson.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, so we're talking about Justin Johnson's communications with Harry Lockhart.
On yesterday is how Harry Lockhart became relevant. And it's also referenced in Justin Johnson's text message to, I think, another individual
About Harry Lockhart.
about Harry Lockhart.
Okay, so my question to you is that when Sergeant Browning was testifying yesterday going through his PowerPoint, was Harry Lockhart mentioned on the 27th? Did you referenced the 27th?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And you think it's relevant now, because I'm sure that's what your argument is going to be. I didn't necessarily get that from you. Is your argument that it's not relevant?
Yes, Your Honor, just like yesterday, it's just a passing reference in the text. There's no communication that we introduced to him, and you suppressed that yesterday because that's the whole point.
I got that, and I agree with what I just read, that it is just passing here.
Good morning, chat.
Ms. Taylor just brought up another.
Good morning, chat. I pray everybody had a blessed day. Thank God for waking us up this morning in abundance. Make sure to hit that like button so we can get more people in here. Jump in the comments if you want me to give you a shout out. Let's go.
I just read that it is just passing here. Ms. Taylor just brought up another argument, but that it was brought up in Sergeant Browning's testimony yesterday that there were conversations on text message from Justin Johnson to Harry Lockhart that she says is relevant because Harry Lockhart's name came up yesterday.
Right, it was on direct. They brought it up. It just happens to be a passing thing on the cross that we're doing. That's what you can point it out for all I care. I didn't need his name in there. I'm just giving you the text message because Justin Johnson was talking to somebody else, and he says, "Oh, Ham's there too." That's essentially all that is to it. It wasn't relevant and direct when they talked about it yesterday. We didn't bring it up. We didn't emphasize it. We didn't do anything. I don't even know what Ham has to do with the price of jeans, right?
But it's now in the text messages that you enter.
His name,
Let's
they
just say that you highlighted some text messages, okay? That says that.
Good morning to the chat. I pray everybody have a blessed day today.
That Justin Johnson was having individual conversations outside of Gopin.
Yeah.
about
I am up. What the
other
fuck are you
issues,
talking
about
I'm not,
whatever they were talking about.
I'm not highlighting.
No, you're highlighting.
Well, it's in there, but on the record, they brought it up, the Justin
And I
Johnson text.
understand, but you've now highlighted it, and so, Ms. Taylor, what's your response that it's not relevant here, but it can be whited out as far as he's concerned?
Well, now they want it whited out, they didn't do that yesterday, and they could have done that then. But also, Your Honor, I would, further state that there are communications between Mr. Goldman and Mr. Lockhart during the time of this conspiracy, which I think is relevant. And if they're gonna bring it up that Justin, may have been doing some outside things, it's important for the jury to also know that Mr. Lockhart had communications with Mr. Goldman.
Judge, they brought up the communication between Justin Johnson and him. They brought it up in their text message. It was already there. So when I'm crossing in with some of these other text messages, that guy's name is referenced. We didn't bring any other specific text messages between him and Justin Johnson. They brought it up. It wasn't relevant to them yesterday when we went through a very lengthy direct examination. It's one of their slides out there that says Justin Johnson talked to him. They brought it up. I didn't even ask to name him. I just read the text message like you instructed me to do and admitted this stuff. It has nothing to do with anything as far as that goes. They brought it up. We know for a fact that he didn't talk to Justin Johnson based on the phone records for at least 2 weeks prior to the shooting. You're being asked to make a lot of supposition here based on what Cornelius Smith said. Cornelius Smith also said there was no plan. He got a call that morning. They got there. They were just riding around doing whatever. Now, the fact that somebody 3 to 4 months prior to that fact said to you that maybe a price on something.
And I agree with what I just read, that it is just passing here. Ms. Taylor just brought up another argument, but that it was brought up in Sergeant Brown's testimony yesterday that there were conversations on text message from Justin Johnson to Harry Lockhart that she says is relevant because Harry Lockhart's name came up yesterday.
Right, it was on direct. They brought it up. It just happens to be a passing thing on cross that we're doing a text message. You can white it out for all I care. I didn't need his name in there. I'm just giving you the text message because Justin Johnson was talking to somebody else and he says, oh, Pam is there too. That's essentially all that is to it. It wasn't relevant and direct when they talked about it yesterday. We didn't bring it up. We didn't emphasize it. We didn't do anything. I don't even know what Ham has to do with the price of tea in China.
But it's now in the text messages that you've entered.
His name,
It's
they
saying that you highlighted some text messages, okay? That says that you're making the argument that Justin Johnson was having individual conversations outside of Goldman, Mr. Goldman, about other issues, about
I'm not,
whatever they were talking about.
I'm not highlighting.
No, you're highlighting.
Well, it's in there, but on direct, they brought it up, the Justin Johnson.
And I understand, but you've now highlighted it, and so, Ms. Taylor, what's your response that it's not relevant here, but it can be whited out as far as he's concerned?
Well, now they want it whited out, so you can do that yesterday and they could have done that then. But also, Your Honor, I would, further state that there are communications between Mr. Goldman and Mr. Lockhart during the time of this conspiracy, which I think is relevant. And if they're gonna bring it up that Justin, may have been doing some outside things, it's important for the jury to also know that Mr. Lockhart had communications with Mr. Goldman.
Judge, they brought up the communication between Justin Johnson and him. They brought it up in their text message. It was already there. So when I'm crossing in with some of these other text messages, that guy's name is referenced. We didn't bring any other specific text messages between him and Justin Johnson. They brought it up. It wasn't relevant to them yesterday when they went through a very lengthy direct examination. It's one of their slides out there that says Justin Johnson talked to him. They brought it up. I didn't even ask the name him. I just read the text message like you instructed me to do. I admitted this stuff. It has nothing to do with
Shout out to the chat. Make sure to hit the like
They
button.
brought it up. And I'm just responding to that. It wasn't relevant in direct examination, but now it's relevant.
I reiterated that, the call workers, and coming in through another witness, these are self-authenticating documents that I feel are relevant to this trial, specifically to Mr. Golding. If their argument is going to be with...
Shout out to the chat. RIP Young Dolph in the chat.
That Justin Johnson was going outside this and he was talking about Ham and referencing Ham and sending information about Juke to Ham. It's also relevant that Ham, or Mr. Lockhart, has communications with Golding. It's not outside of the scope of the conspiracy.
Your Honor, they're conflating the issues. They brought up the fact that Justin Johnson was talking to him on direct examination outside the scope of the conspiracy. My text messages don't have any communication with him. It's with somebody else. If they want to bring in the TZ stuff, I agree. I put in a text between Justin Johnson and TZ guys. It's the same argument we went through yesterday on chat. They brought up the text. Now she's making it seem like we somehow manufactured something out there. They brought up the text. Indirect, that Ham communicated with Justin Johnson.
And I was under the impression that Ham was mentioned, and I'm looking at Exhibit 26, that Ham was mentioned in this text message from Justin Johnson to Cheeseman, Joshua Taylor. I'm going to screw that. As to Harry Lockhart.
God bless the chat, man. If you woke up this morning, make sure you hit that like button. Jump in the comments if you want a shout out.
We have no objection to the TZ one, Your Honor, based on that.
RIP Young Dolph in the chat.
So you can use the TC and Joshua Taylor CDR. Thank you.
So this is day 3 of the Young Dolph murder trial.
Nothing for Mr.
They're trying to make Hernandez Govin the mastermind. This is a crazy case. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Let me get some RIP Dolph in the chat. RIP Dolph in the chat. Top of the morning to everybody.
All right, we ready to bring in the jury?
Pause this. One of my sayings is perseverance. The difference between a successful person and others is not the lack of strength, not the lack of knowledge, but rather the lack of will. If you have the willpower, you can do anything. And if you got God in the room, oh man, you're unstoppable. So let's go, man. Make sure to hit that like button. You are now tuned in to the news you can use. We're watching the Young Dolph murder trial, day 3. Hernandez Govin. And I guess they're trying to paint him as the mastermind. But my thing is, anybody with any sense, and everybody in that court building has sense, the money had to come from somewhere.
Damn you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I want to put her on.
Oh, well, I will just say I have no further questions for Sergeant Brown.
Okay.
I don't know if he's here.
Yeah, he can be released and then bring in the medical examiner. And we'll just let the jury know that he's been released.
And
Shout out to the chat. God bless you. If you woke up this morning, make sure to hit that like button. The more you hit that like button, the more people will come in into the chat so we can have this conversation. We got Straight Drop, Hernandez Govan, and we got Celsius or some shit. I forgot his name. And then the baby mama did her testimony yesterday in the arresting officer. So this is getting deep.
And we'll just let the jury know that he's been released.
and the CDR for the self-authenticated document.
So we'll put that, let's get the medical examiner out there and then we'll put that in. Yes.
This is the live audio in the courtroom right now. Young Dolph murder trial. Let's get some RIP Young Dolph in the chat.
And you don't have that much to do that.
Okay, well, I didn't.
She probably got credit over there too.
I got a lot of ladies.
I will be doing an episode on this new season of The World's Dumbest Criminals coming out real soon.
I got a lot of ladies.
Let's go, chat. Hit that like button.
Good morning. Before we call our next witness, you should know that Sergeant Browning was excused yesterday without any further. Call your next witness.
The state calls Dr. Juliet Spindleberry.
Stand right here, ma'am. Face you on the raise your right hand.
Do you swear or promise to tell the truth?
I do.
Have a seat. Thank you for your presence this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Dr. Juliet Scantlebury, Juliette, Scantlebury, Scantlebury.
And where are you employed?
At University of Tennessee, at a West Tennessee Regional Forensic Center.
And what's your position?
I'm an assistant medical examiner,
How long have you been in that position?
6 years.
And what does your job consist of?
The job consists of performing medical legal autopsies to determine cause and manner of death in certain cases in this jurisdiction.
So I want to talk a little bit about your background. Could you tell the jury about your education?
Yes. So I completed a Bachelor of Science in Biology at Howard University. Then I completed my medical degree at Howard University College of Medicine. My anatomic and clinical pathology residency was at Washington University in St. Louis. And then my last training was in forensic pathology fellowship at St. Louis University.
And are you board certified?
I am.
And are you a licensed physician in Tennessee?
I am.
And could you tell the jury what is forensic pathology?
So forensic pathology is a specialized branch of medicine that examines deceased persons to determine the cause and manner of death in a medical legal approach.
So what does a forensic pathologist do?
So a forensic pathologist performs autopsies based on the jurisdiction that they're working in to determine the cause and manner of death for certain types of cases that are under our purview.
And what exactly is an autopsy?
So an autopsy is an excessive examination of a deceased person. You have an external examination and an internal examination of the body. So you look at everything from hair color, eye color, their body habitus, see if they have any scars, tattoos. That's external examination. And then the internal examination, depending on the level of autopsy, we'll look at all body cavities, we'll look at all organs to see if there's any fluid or any evidence of disease in any organs. And we also went ahead and look at the brain and take certain fluids to be able to test to determine by toxicology or histology to determine, and with all that together, we determine what most likely caused the death for a person if we do an autopsy.
So Dr. Scantlebury, are there different stages of an autopsy?
Yes.
And what are those stages?
Okay. Autopsy itself is looking at the body, but starts from the investigation. So the investigator will give us some information, and the information we get from the investigator determine what type of autopsy we need to do. And if they're determined that a full autopsy needs to be performed, we might need x-rays, we do that first. Someone will help take all the clothing off, if there are any, take necessary pictures, necessary measurements of the body, the height, weight, and any other identifying characteristics on the body. And then move on to the internal part, and that's where we'll make an incision to open up the body cavity to see the internal cavity and see all the organs and any changes that might have happened that might be related to death or otherwise.
And have you performed an autopsy before?
I have.
About how many would you say?
Over 2,000, I stopped counting after that.
So could you explain to the jury, what does cause of death mean?
So cause of death is the immediate reason that led to a person's death. So it may have different ways of saying, so if it's natural, it will be what medical disease led to the person's death, or if there's any kind of injury that caused the person to no longer be alive.
And is that different from manner of death?
Yes.
How is it different?
So manner of death is the classification of that type of death it was. So it will be how you would want to classify the death. So there are 5 manners of death in this jurisdiction. It may vary in places, but here there's natural, accident, suicide, homicide, and undetermined.
And have you ever testified about your findings from an autopsy you did?
Yes.
And have you ever been qualified as an expert witness in the area of forensic pathology?
I have.
And have you been qualified in the courts of this county and other counties?
I have.
Where have you been qualified before?
Illinois, Missouri, and Tennessee.
Your Honor, I tendered Dr. Scantleberry as an expert in forensic pathology and asked that she be allowed to state her opinions as to a reasonable degree of certainty, medical certainty.
No objection.
The court will, find that Dr. Scantleberry, is an expert in the area of forensic pathology, therefore she can testify as to how many of the opinions that's in there.
Thank you. Dr. Scantleberry, I want to ask you about a specific autopsy. Did you perform an autopsy for an Adolph Thornton Jr.?
I did.
And do you recall when this autopsy was performed?
Yes.
When was it performed?
November 18th, 2021.
And during the course of conducting this autopsy, did you also take pictures of Mr. Thornton's body?
Pictures were taken.
No objection, Stanley.
I'm passing you a few of the pictures from this autopsy. Dr. Scantleberry, do you recognize the photographs we just handed you?
I do.
Okay. And do they accurately depict the victim and the evidence during the autopsy?
They do.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like to have these photos of the autopsy entered into evidence and marked as the next number of exhibit.
Well, and she needs to testify about what they are.
If we could enter them as a collective exhibit,
Well, that's fine, but she still, for the record, we need to know what they are. She needs to testify to each of them individually. And you don't have to publish them, that makes me no difference, but she needs to tell us what you know.
Dr. Scantleberry, if you would look at that first picture, what is shown in that first picture?
So this first picture shows the Mr. Thornton on the right side of the body, but some of his head and his right shoulder, and it shows some gunshot wounds of his right jaw, right neck, and right shoulder.
What about the second picture?
This is a shot of his right upper extremity of gunshot wounds of the right forearm, so here and here.
What about the third picture?
This is another shot of the right side of his body, mostly with the right arm, and it shows his right hand, and there's a gunshot wound of his right wrist, and it shows another gunshot wound of his right forearm.
And as to the fourth picture,
This shows some other gunshot wounds of his left upper extremity.
and the fifth picture.
So this picture shows the back of Mr. Thornton's body, and you can see both arms and his back, and you can see the majority of the gunshot wounds of the back, and you can also see some gunshot wounds of his upper extremities.
And the sixth picture,
This is another picture showing the same thing, but it was taken from the left side of the body, showing gunshot wounds of the back and upper extremities.
and the seventh picture,
This is a closer view of the gunshot wounds of the back, from the left side of the body.
and the eighth picture,
This is an overall view of the bullet fragments that were recovered from the right jaw from Mr. Thornton.
and the ninth picture,
These are bullet fragments from the torso from Mr. Thornton, picture the bullet fragments.
and the 10th photo,
This is shows a picture of the remote bullet from the left thigh.
and the 11th,
This is a remote bullet from the right lobe of the liver.
and the 12th,
This is a bullet core fragment from the right chest.
the 13th,
This is a bullet from the lower mid-back.
the 14th,
And this is a remote bullet from the right buttock.